Hey everyone, it's Fun Around, and my name is Jordan, and we are finally to the in-season cup tournament championship thing. Second year around, it feels like there's a little bit more intensity this time around than last year. Last year was kind of like, oh, what is this thing? But this year, it seems like the players are starting to care once they've kind of settled in to the single elimination games. They've especially a team like the Thunder, who are young, are showing a defensive intensity that is almost playoff like. So I'm going to give a few picks for this game. I'm not going to break it down like I usually do because we only have two teams and they only have so many weaknesses that it's difficult to just go by matchup. And there are some plays based off of matchup, but mainly we're just looking at this as a game holistically. Obviously, we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is a great player. And then we have Giannis and Dame on the other end. No disrespect to J Dub. I don't think he's on that level yet. But still, the Thunder, they bring a defensive intensity that is going to take them a long way when they come to the playoffs, and they do very well on the perimeter against guards. It's going to be interesting to see how they guard Giannis. There are multiple ways you can guard Giannis. I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I watched teams guard LeBron James for many years, and there's different ways you can do it. You can let him cook pretty much, and just tell him, hey, you can go score 50. We're going to stick on your teammates and make sure they don't get going. If they don't get hot, then it's just you scoring 50, and the rest of the team struggles. Or you go and you swarm him and you force him to pass, and you hope you can rotate in time, or you make him make the right pass. And if he doesn't make the right pass, then you've played well. But Giannis has done well with this type of defense coming at him. He will rack up a bunch of assists, and his teammates will get going, and they actually play a lot better. So overall, the roster construction for the Thunder aren't necessarily built to stop a guy like Giannis. They have Isaiah Hartenstein, who has the size, but definitely doesn't have the quickness. So they're going to have to bring different looks at him. But if they give it to him in the post, if they get a switch, which they're going to try to do, get multiple switches and get Giannis on a guard and let him do what he does. I think Giannis is going to have a pretty good game here, potentially living at the free throw line. And then Shai on the other end, the Bucks have been awful against guards this year, so he's going to do his thing. The only thing that worries me about him is the Bucks were awful against guards last year, and he didn't do that well against them. I know there were blowouts in both games in different directions, each team blowing each other out. But he still didn't do that well. So his lines are pretty high. Giannis are pretty reasonable for the player that he is. They've been coming down. I think a lot of people are putting a lot of stock into this Thunder defense, and especially with Dame's line. Dame's line has come down to like 22.5 points. I'm still not going to take him because I think they can shut him down and really give him a headache. So I'm going to jump into this first pick, and it's going to be Giannis over points plus rebounds at 41.5 on the over. So I've talked about how he's pretty much unstoppable. He's been this way for forever. There's not a guy who can just match up with him and guard him one-on-one all the time. He's going to go and he's going to score. I doubt he's going to be passive. When Giannis is on and he is attacking, he is a train. So yes, the Thunder are actually very tough against the power forward position, but historically against the Thunder, he has gone over this line in 6 out of 8 games. 6 out of the last 8 games he's played against the Thunder, he's gone over this in 8 out of the last 10 games. And his rebounding is going to be a big part of this line because the Thunder give up the second most rebounds overall to teams this year. I think part of that is because their defense has been so good, that they're rotating so quickly that they're giving up some offensive rebounds. They're causing a lot of missed shots, and teams are getting more rebounds off of them. And Giannis historically has rebounded very very well against them. So just last year, he had 30 points and 19 rebounds against them in the one game that he played. So I know Shea is up and coming, but I still feel like Giannis is going to be the best player on the floor. I know people are going to debate that, and that's fine. But still, I like Giannis over 41.5 points plus rebounds, minus 115. If you guys could, please like the video. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? You could just say anything, and it helps get this video out there for more people to see. This next pick is going to be an interesting one. So I was looking at Shea points. It is pretty high up there. I know he can definitely do it. It's at like 31.5 right now, going around 32.5. So it's pretty high. So I was looking at his rebounds. He has rebounded well in this tournament, and the Bucks actually give up a decent amount of rebounds. But when I checked the stats for the Thunder and how many, who's the best rebounders on the team, obviously Hartenstein was there, Shea was there, and then Lu Dort popped up. He was right above Shea. So I went and I checked out his line. His line was a little bit lower than Shea Gilgeous Alexander. So I like Lu Dort over 4.5 rebounds at plus 105. He's averaging 10 rebound chances over the last 10 games. And he's gone over this in 10 out of the last 13 games. So just this last game against Houston, he got 9 rebounds on 17 rebound chances. So for plus 105, I really like this for Lu Dort. And then I was just searching around lines and stuff like that, thinking about the Thunder's defense. And, there's turnover props. But I noticed the turnover props are only on like Bet365 according to Outlier. Like Taurean Prince over 1 turnover looks like a really good play, but I think you can only get that on Bet365, and that would be in the video if it was on multiple things. So maybe I throw that in the pinned comment if I see that pops up on other things. But one that did pop up on multiple sports books, not this first one, but the second one for plus money. Cason Wallace over 1.5 blocks plus steals at minus 150. He's gone over in 80% of games this year, and over in 9 out of the last 10 games, playing 28 minutes a game over the last 10 games. He's been starting at the shooting guard position. The Bucks are giving up the 15th most steals at shooting guard position, the second least blocks. And he had 2 steals against them in each game he played last year. So adding those blocks in there, he does get blocks. So this is kind of like a parlay piece if you have it available. But one for plus money, for plus 140 that you can single bet. I did see this was on FanDuel as well as Bet365, was over 2 steals. So over 1.5 steals for plus 140. He's gone over in 7 out of the last 10 games. And like I said, the Bucks are giving up the 15th most steals to the shooting guard position. I feel like there's going to be a lot of guys flying around for this Thunder defense, and he can create those steals. And for plus money, I think that's a good single bet. So just a few bets here for one game. I know I don't want to go too crazy. If I were to put more stuff in here, I would go with Shea on rebounds as well. I'm not so sure about Hartenstein. The thing about centers when it comes to playing against the Bucks and rebounding is that they have Brook Lopez, who likes to stand in the corner. And if teams play Brook Lopez where they pull their center out, the center is less likely to get the rebounds. So they actually don't give up too many rebounds to the center position, and they actually don't give up many points to the center position because Brook Lopez is good at getting blocks, standing tall, and then Giannis can play great defensively as well if they have to switch, and he's more athletic. So not so sure about Hartenstein. I do think he could go off with points, but these are just a few that I like. So there are plenty more lines you could go with this game. I think it's going to be, lower scoring game than we're used to. I think some guys are going to go under that you're not expecting, but I do think the stars are going to show up. But if I had to pick a winner, I know everyone's going with the Thunder. I would have to go with the Thunder as well. I think they're just playing too well right now. defensively, and that type of defense can take you very far in like a playoff type run. I'm glad they're in the West and the Cavaliers won't have to run into them if the Cavaliers got hot in the playoffs. So if you guys would like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. You can hop on in there. Discussion will be going on about all kinds of sports, NFL, college football. We got some pretty big bowl games coming up. That's all free, so I'd love to see you join there. And then as far as a recap goes for Monday, it was not too great. I had Yabusable of the Sixers over points plus rebounds. I got him at 11.5. It ended up going up to like 16, 17 and a half. That's what people were telling me. I saw 15. It got bumped up a lot. It was pretty much based off of his history with Joel Embiid out, but he did not get those minutes that he normally does. And even with the minutes he got, he wasn't doing much. He wasn't very aggressive offensively. So staying away from him in that whole situation. It looks like with Embiid out and McCain out, it's going to be Paul George and Tyrese Maxey taking a ton of shots. So that's where we would be looking at in the future. I had De'Aaron Fox over assists. He went over that. And then Kevin Porter Jr. Over points plus assist, and he just missed that. I was expecting a blowout in that game and him getting more minutes, which he got. He missed a couple of threes near the end, and he just needed to knock one of those down for him to go over, but he missed that. So it was 1-2, and missed out on some of the other bigger games with a lot more points scored. I felt like some lines were a little high, so I stayed away from them, but I should have just jumped on those lines with guys with good matchups and stuff like that. So just some adjustments I should make in the future, and you live and you learn. So there's just a few picks here for this one game. Hope you all do well. Have fun. God bless you all. It's fun around. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.